Alright, Shalom. I'm gonna check the live stream real quick, see if it's good, if y'all can hear me. I'm gonna check the live stream. Yes. Real quick. Yes, it's good. Alright, Shalom. I am the brother Tasiyat, coming back with another video. But before I start off, I would like to give all praises and the highest honor to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Mukakadash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the sincere Akiyam across the world who has spread this knowledge and truth and sincerity. And may the election be upon your households. Khan Shalom. So, wow. Today I want to make a video concerning the breakdown of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, we as GMS, we have a 12 tribe sign. In a minute, I'm gonna put it on the screen. 12 tribe sign, GMS. That we show the people when we go out on the streets and when we are teaching, you know. So let me show you. Wait a minute. Let me share my screen so y'all can see it also. Share screen here. Okay, I think you should be seeing my screen right now. Let me do it like this. Let me double check it. So let me double check it here. Check it. So okay. Let me double check it here. And if I do it like this, what happens? I'm just double checking it on my live page to see what y'all are also seeing. But anyway, you see here, there's a picture. I'm not sure if they're gonna show it you know, that clear, but let me zoom it out like this again. But this is what we have, you know, something like this, a sign that we have when we stand on the streets. It's a bit different on the background, but it shows you who the 12 tribes of Israel are. Okay, the so-called Negroes are the tribe of Judah, the so-called West Indians, the tribe of Benjamin, the Haitians, the tribe of Levi, the Dominicans, the tribe of Simeon, the Guatemalans to the Panamanians from Zebulon, okay, Puerto Ricans from the tribe of Ephraim, Cubans from Manasseh, North American Indians from Gad, Seminole Indians from Reuben, the Argentinians to the Chileans from Naphtali, Colombians to Uruguayans from Asher, and the Mexicans from Issachar. Now, I just want to read the book of Genesis chapter 49, which speaks about the 12 tribes of Israel and their blessings, and whereby we could now in the last days recognize like, oh, so this is that tribe and this is that tribe, you know. So Genesis 49 and 1, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. You see? So that is the time we are living in right now. Okay. Now, I don't remember if I gave the salute, so I'm going to do it again. You know, I want to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Mukakadash, and double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom. So again, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. That is this time where we are living right now, these last days. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Jacob and Israel are the same person. You know, his name was changed into Israel. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. So those are the Seminole Indians. Okay, Reuben was the firstborn of Jacob. And if you don't know the Seminole Indians, you know, they're looking like this. They're the only tribe that Esau could not conquer, you know. For example, in the Gullah Wars, Okay, so these are the Seminole Indians. Okay, the Reubenites. And they are strong, man. Okay, Reuben is very strong. Okay. So let's see. You know what? Should I go there? Northern tribes. Let me see what this says. Let me go here. 2 Kings 17 and 23. Reuben are the Seminole Indians. The Lord as he had said unto the service who carried away. Yes, 2 Kings 17 and 23, because the northern tribes, you know, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, they were carried away all the way to the land, to the soil, which is known as America today. Until verse 23, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cuthah, and let me see, Samaria. Okay, so this is the point. They was first carried into Assyria, okay, as captives. And when we read 2nd Ezra chapter 13, let me go there real quick. And we go to around verse 40, 39. You're gonna read that the northern tribes, the 10 tribes, actually traveled away from the Assyrian captivity into another country, which is America. 2nd Ezra 13, verse 39. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes, you see, from Israel, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Uzziah the king, whom Shalmaneser the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. So that land here is talking about Assyria. Verse 41, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country. This is speaking of America, Arsaret, okay, where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. They was not listening to Yahweh Bashem Yashai in the land of Israel. You know, otherwise they, you know, you won't go into captivity, you know. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow place of the river. So through the Euphrates river, they entered into the Persian Gulf, if I'm correct. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and had still the flood till they were passed over. So the Most High makes sure that, you know, the water, the sea was calm for them to pass over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. So it took them a year and a half to go to this new country. And the same region is called Arsaret, and that is America. Now I made a previous video also where I explain it in depth and show you also Arsaret, you know, and the traveling of them, of the northern tribes. And basically they went around, oh wait, this picture is better actually. They basically went around around Africa, sorry. Like you can see right here. Here's the Euphrates River. Sorry again. Here is the Euphrates River. And then it goes all the way here to the Persian Gulf. And then all the way this voyage to Arsaret, which is America, took 1 year and a half for the northern tribes to come there. You see? So anyway, let's go back to Genesis 49. Verse 4, unstable as water, meaning they go from place to place, you know. Thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed. Then defilest thou it, and he went up to my couch. What Reuben did, he slept with a concubine of his father. he slept with a concubine named Bilhah, and that is not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to go sleep with the concubine of your own father. Where was it again? Slept. I wrote it down somewhere. Let me see. Bilhah lay Reuben. Yes, Genesis 35. Let's go there. Just to show you the point real quick. Genesis 35, verse 22. It says here, and it came to pass when Israel dwelt in that land that Reuben went and lay, so he had sex, intercourse with Bilhah, his father's concubine. So lesser wife, that's a concubine. And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. So that is what Reuben did. Okay. That's why also he's not gonna excel. Why he wouldn't excel in the last days where we are living in right now. Okay. Going further, Genesis 49 verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Simeon is speaking of the Dominicans. Levi concerning the so-called Haitians. Okay, instruments of cruelty are in the habitations. Okay, the Levites are busy with voodoo, Simeon, Santeria, things like that. You see? So from there, verse 6, O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. And basically, what they be doing, with the voodoo, the Santeria, that's not supposed to something that we're supposed to be doing anyway, So it says, mine honor, be not thou united, okay? Because it says here, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. What they did, okay, was kill a Hamite, because that Hamite defiled their sister Dinah. We can read about it also in Genesis. Let me see, Genesis 34, one chapter before this one. Genesis 34. I'm just gonna hit the key. I'm just gonna hit the key points. You can read the chapter for yourself to get the full understanding of the story. It's titled The Treachery of Jacob's Sons, verse 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hiphite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. So he had basically, intercourse with her, and he defiled her by that, Verse 7, jumping to verse 7. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. Okay, he was a heathen that was laying with an Israelite female, it was not supposed to happen. So her brothers were mad. And when you read on, it's gonna seem like, they spake peace unto them, and they came at peace. And then when you read here, verse 25, and it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that the two sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, her brothers, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males. So they killed all the men, And they slew Hamor and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. That is what they did. That is what they did. That is what is saying here. Let me see. Verse 7. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce. So what they did is now a curse upon them, actually, And their wrath, for it was cruel. I will defy them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. So right now, back in the days, they were like real close brethren, Simeon and Levi. But now the Haitians, Dominicans, they don't like each other. Spiritually, they are divided. They are against each other. And in literal sense, there's also the Massaker River, if I'm correct, which divides the two parts of the land from each other. From Dominican Republic and the Haitian part of the land. Verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is the head tribe of all the tribes of Israel. Okay, even though he was not the firstborn, we can read about that in the book of Chronicles. Where was it again? First Chronicles 5. Chronicles 5. Because actually Reuben was the firstborn, but he committed a certain act whereby now the blessing of the firstborn and the rulership that he was supposed to have was taken away. Then it was given to Joseph, which is Ephraim, and now it's basically for Judah, and it will stay for Judah. So First Chronicles 5:1. Now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his father's bed, that was when he was sleeping with the concubine named Bilhah, the concubine of his father, his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph, actually Ephraim, the son of Israel. And the genealogy is not to be reckoned after the birthright, for Judah prevailed above his brethren, and of him came the chief ruler, but the birthright was Joseph's. Okay, so now it's the rulership belongs to Judah. He's the head tribe. Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? So basically, which verse is this? Verse 9. Yeah. So basically, they was on fire, back around the 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s, with their movements, how do you say that? You had Malcolm X, you had different types of speakers, coming up for the people. You had the Black Panther movement, you had Black Wall Street, but it all did not, really help. And then they calmed down a bit. So who's gonna rouse them up? The Most High is gonna rouse them up and wake them up again and shake them up and be like, he's gonna be the one that rouses them up again, because now their fire is gonna a little bit dim, so to speak. Verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah. You see, so the head tribe is Judah. Okay, it's not gonna be taken away anymore. Nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, that is Yahushai, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Biding is for biding. Oh wait, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Yes, because if I'm correct, Judah, being the so-called Negroes, are the ones who were woken up first to this truth, through the elder Abba Bivens, named Abba Bivens, around the ends of the 60s, begin 1970. He came and understood through the chapter Deuteronomy 28 that the so-called Negroes are the Israelites, So they were woken up first, and later the so-called Latino, so-called Native Americans, were also coming into play. Like, wait a minute, those are also the Israelites. Okay. But first, the ones that were in the so-called Negroes, those who were woken up first, So you can also go to Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7. And not West Africa, like people say, it was in America. The Lord shall also save the tents of Judah first. Okay, so Judah is going to be woken up first. Would be woken up first, which happened. That the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. So they cannot boast themselves against Judah. Okay, he's the one that was risen up first, and he's basically gathering the tribes. You could also say the southern kingdom, and you have Ephraim, which are the Puerto Ricans, and they are basically the head tribe of the northern kingdom. So-called Latinos, Native Americans. But of all the tribes, Judah is the head tribe. And what the Most High is gonna do, that the fission between the so-called Latinos, Native Americans, and between the so-called Negroes that they have, the Most High is gonna take away that division and is gonna bring us back together again. Verse 11, binding his foal unto the vine. This is speaking about Yahushai, and his asses colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. So the redness of Yahushai's eyes is, the white of Yahushai's eyes would be red. It's prophesied here. Okay, and his teeth white with milk. If I'm correct, that's speaking about the wisdom that he has, And going up a verse, in the blood of grapes, because when Yahushai comes, he's gonna do a lot of damage upon these people, upon these heathen, especially Esau. He's gonna bring vengeance upon them, man. First, he himself is gonna do horrible damage, and he's also gonna use the elect to do it. Okay, let's go to Isaiah 63, verse 1 until 4. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bosra? Bosra is the head capital of Edom. Okay, this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save, is Yahushai. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in a wine fat? When they treaded the wine fat, when they was making wine, there was so-called stomping, on the berries, if I'm correct, not berries, what the fuck am I speaking about? What you make wine with. In the Dutch we say druiven. I forgot the English word. Basically when they make wine. Grapes. Yeah, how could I forget that? Grapes. So if I'm correct, they had something like this, I'm not sure if the Israelites did this, I think the Romans was making their wine like this. I'm not sure if we did it also with our feet, stomping it like that. But this is like a wine press, they was pressing against the grape in order to make wine. So that is symbolically for the blood that he's going to spill, okay, from these enemies. Going back, Isaiah 63, verse 3. I have trodden the winepress alone. He's going to do a lot of vengeance for himself, And of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. He's going to take vengeance. Yahushua is very angry. But remember, like I said, also the elect is going to have the anger of the Lord in them. And it's going to do damage unto these Edomites, unto these heathens, Ezekiel 25 verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom, which are the so-called white people, by the hand of my people Israel. So he's going to use the Israelites also, the elect, in this last days. Okay? And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. So if you think that you are angry at Esau, imagine how angry the Lord is. He's going to put his anger inside the elect. Okay? And they shall know my vengeance, say the Lord power. Now, going back to Genesis 49, verse 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships. Zebulun speaking about, let's see it here. Zebulun speaks about the Guatemalans to the Panamanians, okay? And it says, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships. Yeah, man, they have the Panama Canal, canal where a lot of things are being brought to ships. Panama Canal. You see the Panama Canal. Okay. It's like an important canal. Like also you have the Suez Canal, which is very important to import, export things, through ships. Panama Canal is also important, man. So going back to Genesis 49, verse 14, Issachar, which are the Mexicans, is as strong as couching down between two burdens. An ass is, like an animal that you use to plow the land with. Okay, like a cow. It looks like a bit like a cow, or it is a cow. I'm not sure. Or is it a donkey? I'm not sure anymore. Oh, a donkey, if I'm correct. Salakia. An ass. Why? Because he's very strong. Mexicans are very strong, man. Okay, couching down between two burdens. They work very hard, man. They work real hard, the Mexicans. And he saw that rest was good. They like resting. They have something called the siesta, wherein they take a nap in the afternoon. Usually between 12 o'clock to 13 o'clock. 12 to 3 o'clock, I believe. Somewhere around the afternoon. They take a nap. Okay, the siesta. It's called the siesta. So, going back. And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. They work very hard, man. Verse 16. Then shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. They are a judge. Now, something happened whereby, the tribe of Dan is not mentioned as one of the 12 tribes that would be part of the elect. Because of the elect, the 144,000, you have 12,000 out of every tribe. But the tribe of Dan is not mentioned. So we are not sure what happened to them. But the Most High, Lord willing, he will reveal it unto us in the kingdom, for example. Then shall be a serpent by the way, and an adder in the path that biteth the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backward. I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Gad, which are the Native Americans, a troop shall overcome him. That is what these the U.S. cavalry did. Came to the country, raped, robbed, murdered the Native Americans, like they always did, and took them over. It says, but he shall overcome at the last. Gad will overcome at the last anyway. In the kingdom, they will be, basically restored again. These cavalry was taking them over, for example, with a Gatling gun, if I'm correct. Doing all kinds of crazy things with them. So don't worry, man. The revenge is coming. Okay, verse 20. So if you don't know who the Native Americans are, I'm sure you do, but let me show you still. Americans. I did not show pictures with every tribe, but let me show you this one. These are the Native Americans, okay, with the feather heads. Also in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 33, from around verse 6 until down, you can also read about the 12 tribes. Lord willing, I'm going to read that also in a bit. It says here, verse 20, out of Asher his bread shall be fed, and he shall yield royal dainties. Who's Asher? Asher is the Colombians to the Uruguayans, also the Brazilians, etc., the people from Venezuela. Okay, for example, Brazil has a very, very resourceful part of land. Royal dainties. They have corn oil, which is very, very useful. So let me see. They have a lot of resourceful things in the ground. You name it, man. Naphtali is a hind that loose. Naphtali are the Argentinians. Naphtali here, the Argentinians to the Chileans. Like a hind let loose. If you don't know what a hind is, it's like an animal, like, if I'm correct, it looks like a so-called deer. Yes, you see a hind. Let loose. What happens when you let the hind loose? He runs from place to place, jumping here, jumping there. That is what they was doing, the nomads, the Indians. They was always moving from place to place, They, let me see. Yes, yeah, they were moving from place to place, So it says here, he giveth goodly words. Yeah, man, when these Spaniards came, they were speaking peaceably unto them. All right. You also have the story of Galfarino, which Galfarino is the original Wolverine. That is where Wolverine, the cartoon Wolverine, comes from. What they did to him, he's the Israelite Galfarino. They cut off his hands. Okay, he was from the tribe of Mapuche, if I'm correct. They cut off his hands, and to bring vengeance, he connected knives, real sharp knives, to his arms, man. And brought vengeance upon these enemies. So going back, Genesis 49, verse 22, Joseph, which is symbolically for Ephraim and then also Manasseh, okay, because Ephraim and Manasseh were the sons of Joseph, but Ephraim was more established than Manasseh. Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall, okay, because, so let me go here. Like I said, Ephraim are the Puerto Ricans and Manasseh are the Cubans. Okay. Verse 23. The archers have sorely grieved him and shot at him and hated him, but his bow abode in strength. So that means, they basically are fruitful, so they keep on having children, they keep on reproducing. So these Edomites, these enemies, they could not really kill them, like made them go extinct, so to speak, because they, they kept on making children, so they could not do away 100% with them, if I'm explaining it correct, so they could not destroy them. Let me say like that. That is what his bow abode in strength means, So the archers have surely grieved him and shot at him and hated him. These enemies tried to kill them, but his bow abode in strength. They kept on reproducing. They could not be totally destroyed. And the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty power of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the son of Israel. Even by the power of thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breasts and of the womb. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors, unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. So the separate from his brethren, that happened when he was sold into Egypt as a slave. His brethren actually put him in a pit, if I'm correct, and basically sold him unto Midianites, which the Midianites sold Joseph as a slave unto the Egyptians, So that's that separation from Joseph and his brethren is now symbolically for the separation between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The so-called Negroes, which are the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and the so-called northern kingdom, which are the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, Not so-called northern kingdom, the northern kingdom, and the southern kingdom. Okay. So let me see. Verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. Benjamin, also known in the Hebrew as Banyamyan, are the West Indians, for example, the Jamaicans. He shall raven as a wolf, crying like a wolf. When a wolf cries, he makes a high sound, and, basically what these Benjamites are doing, these West Indians, they make a lot of songs concerning the Most High. They go a little bit off calling him Jah, things like that, but they making songs about Babylon falling down, things like that. So they have, something extra from the Most High, They are very close to the Most High. And what does a wolf do? When he howls before he's going to hunt. Okay, he howls to gather the other wolves. You see. So through their songs, they deliver certain messages, man. In the morning, basically when Yahushua comes, he shall devour the prey, Esau. And at night, Esau, the so-called white man. And at night he shall divide the spoil. Night, basically when Esau's kingdom, society is crumbling down, which we are already witnessing in front of our eyes, man. So I quickly want to show the word Benjamin. Wow, it says H1144. Okay, here you see Benjamin, but it's Banyamyan in the Hebrew. You read from right to left. So
Strong's H1144. Benjamin.
So they call it Benjamin, but it's Banyamyan in the correct Hebrew. So let's look at the meaning of it. Benjamin, when you go to the outline of biblical usage here, it says son of the right hand. Okay, they are close to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Salakia, so going back to Genesis. If I'm speaking a bit fast, Salakia for that. But I hope you can still follow it. The explanation and things. Genesis 49. We left at, let me see if somebody is here. Genesis 49, verse 28. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is it that their father spake unto them, and blessed them, every one according to his blessing he blessed them. Okay, so basically this is what the blessings he gave to his 12 sons, and this would come to pass in the last days. Remember in verse 1, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. And that is the last moments of Esau's rulership that you are living in right now. So for people that think like, so how do you know that the tribe of Levi is the Haitians and the tribe of Simeon are the Dominicans, and that is speaking about their voodoo and their Santeria, and that they are now divided, and that is not speaking about 500 years ago, because it says, last days is for now, for this end time, So let me not just say because it's for the last days, but you can read it you read for yourself. It says last days, So that would implement in my eyes like, oh, okay, so it's speaking of this time, what would happen now with the tribes, where they would be, what their blessings are. So from there, didn't want to make it too long, but hey, Lord willing, through the Spirit is edifying. Deuteronomy 33. Let me start at verse 6. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his man be few. So, because there were a lot of Seminole Indians killed, but Esau could not totally annihilate the Seminole Indians and could not totally overrule them. I believe after the third Gullah War, there were only around 200 Seminole Indians left, which are very few. A lot of them were killed. So going back. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou an help to him from his enemies. So, let me see, that was verse 7. Judah was brought with slave ship to the other tribes, with slave ships from, around West Africa to the land of America, basically brought to the other northern tribes. Okay, sufficient because they were preserved. And the enemies, of course, Esau, the white man. And you can read about us being sold to cargo slave ships in Deuteronomy 28. Verse 68. This was the book, the chapter that I was speaking about, that, you can, when you read it, and other Abba Biffins understood through this chapter, like, wait a minute, so the so-called Negroes are the actual Israelites. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. When you read verse 1 until verse 15, it shows you that if you listen to God, you will get much blessings and much profit in return. If you don't listen to God, so to speak, from verse 15 until 68, all those curses would come upon us. And all those curses fit the best to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, so verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, Egypt meaning bondage, with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. So wait a minute, if Egypt is close to Israel, we could just be brought there, through, how do you say that? Through walking, basically, so to speak, But it doesn't speak about literal Egypt. It speaks about spiritual Egypt, which is the landmass of America, where we were brought into transatlantic slave trade. Thou shalt see no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, slaves, and no man shall buy you, meaning that nobody's gonna redeem us. Not literally, nobody's gonna buy us, because they was buying us from left to right on the slave markets. It means buy means basically nobody's gonna redeem us, except Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 8. And of Levi he said, let thy Tumim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One. If I'm correct, if I remember it correct, those were instruments used for the priest service, but I'm not sure. But Levi are the Haitians, those are the priests. They are very busy with spiritual sacrifices and things. Like the Haitians nowadays do a lot of things on the left-hand side with spiritual things like voodoo, for example. Back in the days, they are not back in the days, but they are the tribe of Levi, who are the actual priests, whom thou didst prove at Massa, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah. That has happened in history. Who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him. That was when Joseph was basically sold to the Midianites by his own 11 brothers. Not 11, because I believe Benjamin was not born yet. By his own brothers, And when he came back, Levi basically said to Jacob and his mother, like, I don't know where Joseph is. Joseph was like the favorite child of Jacob. So his brethren were jealous of that. So Levi said, like, to his father and his mother, like, I don't know where he is. I have not seen him. Meanwhile, I knew exactly what happened, Neither did he acknowledge his brethren, because he's a very, he had that proud for his tribe as priests. Nor knew his own children, for they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant. So let me see. Verse 9. Verse 10. They shall teach Jacob thy judgment and Israel thy law. That's what the priests do, And they shall put incense before thee and whole burnt sacrifice upon thine altar. Bless, Lord, his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. So what happened was the Haitians, what I did to the French people. Okay, through the Haitian general, his name Toussaint Louverture or something, Louverture. Through this general, the Haitian general Toussaint, Toussaint, through him, Yes, Louverture, And of course, the enemies, let me see. The enemy is the French, who are Edomites, so-called white people. Okay. So they whoop their ass, basically, man. Okay. They whoop these Edomites' asses. And of Benjamin, he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him. The Benjamites, the West Indians, are close to the Most High. They have some form of thing that makes them always, seek Yahweh, not Yahweh Shemeshai, but seek God and be spiritual. Make songs about Babylon falling down, like I said, about the Most High, things like that. They're very close to the Most High. Blessed. Where was I again? And of course, you have people that follow Yahweh Shemeshai that are Benjamites. That's not the point. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord shall dwell in safety by him, and the Lord shall cover him all day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders. Yeah, he's very close to the Lord. And of Joseph he said, blessed of the Lord be his land. Okay, for the precious things of heaven, for the dew and for the deep that counteth beneath. So that land of the Ephraimites, okay, because Joseph is symbolically for Ephraim and Manasseh, of course. If I'm correct, the land of Puerto Rico is very resourceful, very rich ground, exotic fruits. They have bioluminescent water, if I'm correct, all types of, crazy things. Okay. And for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun, the exotic fruits, and what I said, and for the precious things put forth by the moon, and for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the lasting hills. And let me see. See if I have anything else here. No. Verse 16. And for the precious things of the earth and fullness thereof, and for the goodwill of him that dwelt in the bush. Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top of the head of him that was separated from his brethren. That is also what we just read, And from there, let me see. Verse 17, his glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth. And they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. So, remember when we read 2nd Esther 13, that it was going to the land of Arsareth, which is America, Basically, Ephraim, so to speak, led them also to Arsareth, okay, to gather them together and go to Arsareth. But what also happens now is that the Ephraimites, the Puerto Ricans, are also teaching the ways of Yahweh Shemeshai, are teaching basically the truth, are teaching this word, okay? And that is also, what the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans, Ephraim and Manasseh are doing across the world to bring back the Israelites to Yahweh Shemeshai. So that's also what it stands for, okay? So let's go back. Deuteronomy 33:17. Verse 18, Salakia. And of Zebulon, he said, rejoice, Zebulon, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents. Zebulon, like we just saw earlier, are the Guatemalans to the Panamanians, and Issachar, of course, are the Mexicans. Okay, so Zebulon, also known as the Mayans, okay, the Mayans, and Issachar known as the Aztecs. They was also dwelling at one time together and sacrificing together, things unto the Most High. Okay. Now we go to verse 19. They shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness. For they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of the treasures hid in the sand. So basically, Central America, Mexico, where Zebulon, Issachar are fruitful lands, very fruitful lands. And of Gad, he said, which are the Native Americans, remember, with the featherheads, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arm with the crown of the head. So him dwelling as a lion, they have a lot of land that they have, all the way Canada, North America where they live. They had a lot of land, back in the days. They had like how you now see all the 51 or 52, I don't even know the exact number, states of America. Those were all the land for where the Native Americans, where the Gadites was dwelling, and tear it down and tear the arm, speaking about the blood brother covenant. Say that correct? Yeah, the blood brother covenant. And the crown of the head is that feather head that they have. Okay. Native Americans, those feather heads that they have, symbolically for that crown that stands here. Basically that war bonnet. Things like this. Also, you almost always see them with the feather heads, like what he has on his head, for example, or things like that. Here you see it. All right. So from there, let's go to verse 21. And he provided the first part for himself, because there, in a portion of the lawgiver, was he seated, and he came with the heads of the people. He executed the justice of the Lord and his judgments with Israel. Verse 22. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp. He shall leave from Bashan. Like I said, from Dan we don't really know too much about that tribe, because they are not part of the tribes being mentioned as the elect. Okay. So we don't know about Dan too much, And of Naphtali he said, okay, because you have to understand, like, GMS has the 100% truth of the scriptures, but the 100% truth of the knowledge that is given, so to speak, So things like, for example, concerning the tribe of Dan, that is not really mentioned in the scriptures. So you cannot really, suck it out of the air and know it like, oh, that's it, But concerning all the things that are in the scriptures, GMS has the 100% truth, okay? And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor. Naphtali, remember the Argentinian to the Chileans. He said, satisfied with favor and full with the blessing of the Lord, possess thou the west and the south. So also basically, Argentina, Chile are fruitful lands. I believe also in Argentina you have the cows, the beef. They are walking on flat land, You don't really have a lot of mountains, if I'm correct. So what happens to that beef? They don't really get big muscles. And when you make steak out of that, the meat becomes way more softer and is better supposedly than other meat where the cows do walk uphill and do get muscles. The meat is then more dense. And remember, if you make a steak, bake it good, not medium rare, no blood in it still. It has to be prepared good, because it's not, according to the law, we're not supposed to eat blood or raw things. Okay. Verse 24. And of Asher he said, let Asher be blessed with children. Yeah, what was it again? The Brazilians, let him be acceptable to his brethren. Why? Because, for example, you have the Amazon Indians. They are not really, they are basically the outcasts, so to speak, not really fit in with the rest of the brethren, So let me see. Let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Now, Venezuela is like one of the biggest oil reserves of all, which Venezuela is also from the tribe of Asher. Okay. Verse 25. Thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. Okay, so basically Brazil, which is Brasal in the Hebrew, if I'm correct, also meaning iron, if I'm correct, has a lot of, a lot of brass and a lot of iron. Like I said, Brazil is like a big portion of land, so the Amazon is there. They have like a lot of mineral resources, everything, And as their days, let me see. And what says it? And as thy days, so shall thy strength be. They are very strong, man, the Brazilians. mainly when they do, when you fight with them, for example, they're often very skinny. They have like the skin glow, but they are really strong, man. Telling you, when you see a Brazilian doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you best believe they are strong. Okay, there is none like unto the power of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven in thy help, and in his excellency on the sky. Okay, the Most High is gonna save his elect. Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. So yeah, he will deliver his elect. So basically, that was it concerning the 12 tribes breakdown. I hope it was edifying. With that, I want to give all praises and the highest honor to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the sincere Akim across the world who has spread his knowledge and truth and sincerity. And may the election be upon your households. God shalom.